Pro wrestling is always changing. It's changing, man. It always changes. It evolves with time. And when we say that it's changing, I'm just talking about on an overall level, like the look, the presentation, the feel, and what we're going to talk about today, the moves. We could debate all day long about what is modern wrestling, what is classic wrestling, what is vintage, but for better or for worse, we're going to go ahead and talk about a very general amount of time here. We're talking from all the way from the like 70s and 80s all the way up on today's modern. Anyway, I'm excited to get into this. We're talking the wrestling moves that are either completely gone or about to go the way of the dodo bird, or more or less that you've just forgotten about. Some of these, I don't even know what they are. So this should be fun. A body scissors submission. Take a look at this thing. I mean, legs can be very strong. I mean, in general, your legs are a lot stronger than your arms are. I believe you can get any move over if it's sold properly. I think more or less this is probably not around because it's just a very weird visual aesthetic. Next up is the step over toe hold. The step over toe hold. The Funks did this move, also Lou Thesz. The name of the game in modern wrestling, at least, is a lot of fast-paced stuff, so even when there is submissions done, you know, this is just something that's just kind of worked its way out of anything. But I don't know, I think even back in the day when Thesz and the Funks were doing it, I think it was still pretty lame, probably even then. If you were alive back then, let me know down in the comments what you thought. Here's one I think at least most people have forgotten about. Let's talk about the battering ram. And you're asking me, well, what is a battering ram? Well, check this out. Don't know the origins of when this tag team move started or who came up with it. I'm sure it existed before the Bushwhackers made it famous. No one else does this move anymore. Almost completely forgotten about, but I think it needs to make a comeback. I don't know. What do you think? And now let's talk about, I don't know if we could really necessarily call this a move, but it's definitely a classic heel tactic. This is the good old eye rake across the ropes, brother. These are one of those that's just about to go on its way out. You know, it's not necessarily completely out yet. Every now and then you'll see someone throw this in there just for kicks. Always a good way for a heel to slow a match down, and it's not like it looks bad or it's hokey or anything like that. I would say this is one of the less hokier moves on the list. It's just something that's not done that often anymore. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about the mounted 10 punches in the corner. Don't get me wrong, this one is still very much alive, I think, so it's kind of that it's on this list, but hear me out here, okay? It's one of those things where when spots like this are done, they're done as a throwback to a prior time, and that's almost kind of like, it's almost like they're doing the move in just kind of a tongue-in-cheek way, just kind of saying, hey, everyone remember when, you know, wrestling used to be like this. It's not necessarily, it doesn't feel like it's actually a move that someone's using seriously. Does that kind of make sense? I hope it does. Next up, we've got the Indian Deathlock, which this move is about as old as it gets right here, and that's really almost all you can say about it. Come to think of it, why isn't there a wrestler that just uses all these old moves, you know? I think WWE kind of did something like this with the Vaudevillians like years ago, but they still kind of just wrestled WWE style anyway. Someone should like actually do this where they could actually like put some art to it, you know what I mean? Maybe there is someone doing this out there, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Next up, we've got the abdominal stretch, brother. Back in the 80s, you really couldn't watch a wrestling match that didn't have an abdominal stretch in it, and now it's just basically done kind of like the 10 punches in the corner. It's just kind of done as like a throwback to another time. Every great once in a blue moon, you'll see someone just kind of fall into one as like a rest hold or something like that. To be honest, it was always a rest hold, so I don't know what they're talking about with this thing here, but abdominal stretch, pretty much going the way of the dodo bird here. This next one's a weird one, the flying headbutt. This is just one of those things where this move was popularized by, of course, Chris Benoit and the Dynamite Kid, and as it turns out, well, you can't use it nowadays without everyone kind of raising their eyebrows and saying, hey, trying to pay tribute to Chris Benoit or something, man, that's not cool, man. So yeah, it seems like for everyone that wants to do a flying headbutt, they just end up doing a frog splash instead and saying, hey, tribute to Eddie Guerrero, yeah. Next up, we've got the monkey flip. Check this out. I don't really have much else to say other than that. I mean, it just kind of explains itself, you know what I mean? I wonder why no one really does this no more. Next up is one of my favorites on the list here. Let's talk about the stomach claw and or just the claw in general, okay? But the stomach claw more specifically, this was something that was used by old Fritz von Erich. Ernie Ladd kind of did it a little bit. It's just, and this is just one of those hokey things that anyone can just kind of do to each other while they're wrestling around in the basement, and they just kind of figure out, oh, that doesn't hurt at all. Like, you know what I mean? So stomach claw, don't think we've seen one in almost 40 years, and it's more than likely going to stay that way, at least we hope to God. The claw, though, when someone grabs the guy's face like this and just squeezes it, that needs to make a comeback with someone. I will die on this hill until the day I die. The claw is a great move. There needs to be some monster wrestler somewhere that's using that as their finish, period. Next up, the airplane spin. Another one of those moves. It's basically dead. Someone will do it every now and then, and they'll kind of chuckle and go, oh yeah, I remember when wrestling used to do that. That's kind of funny. That's kind of ironic, you know? Even back in the 80s, it was campy, but it was just fun. It was a fun move, and we enjoyed it back then, damn it. You can't take that away from us, damn it. I'm sorry, got a little out of control there. But it just makes me so mad that I want to bear hug somebody. Hey, bear hug, that's another one. Let's talk about the bear hug. No one does the dang bear hug anymore. I mean, look at this. If it's good enough for Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, I mean, Vader, I mean, all these huge, powerful monsters, we need more monsters in wrestling that are doing bear hugs and claws. And you guys see what I'm saying here? There seems to be kind of a theme developing with this list. Where's all the strong beast men in wrestling now? Like, it's just something that's severely lacking, I think. Here's one that everyone knows, the good old atomic drop, brother. This move is just strange how it ever even developed to begin with. I mean, I guess it looks kind of aesthetically pleasing, you know. There's one guy getting lifted up and then dropped down. I don't know whether you're doing it frontwards or backwards. It just looks weird. It's literally one of those moves that you look at and say, man, how did they come up with this stuff? You know what I mean? Yeah, Bob, I'm just gonna lift you up like this, and then I'm gonna drop your ass right onto my knee. We're gonna call it the knee to ass. Well, Bob, we can't call it knee to ass. What are we gonna call it instead? Let's call it the atomic drop. Two more bonus ones I'll talk about here. Let's talk about the test of strength. Every now and then you'll see this thrown into a match, but this used to be literally every match from like the 80s, it seems like. So yes, it's not something that's dead. Yes, it is something that is still used, but kind of sort of being phased out, you know? So wanted to give an honorable mention to that one. And last one here, I'm going to kind of morph these two together when we talk about the Polish hammer that Ivan Putski used to use, as well as the heart punch. I mean, they're basically the same move, for better or for worse. I guess this one is just one of those things where, like, it can be done safely, but when it is done safely, it probably doesn't look very good at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So, like, that's, I think, the main reason why this doesn't appear in wrestling, which, if you think about it, a lot of these on this list are basically just because they don't look good anymore, or they're just kind of hokey, or they're not kind of seen as effective by today's modern audience. Heart punch is a lot different, because I think that they definitely could do this, but would it look very well? Probably not a good idea to be punching guys full throttle into the heart. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's probably not the safest thing to do if you're going to make it look actually good on TV. Anyway, guys, that's what I could come up with. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. If there is anything I missed, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Once again, we're talking about moves that are gone or almost completely gone from pro wrestling. I'm going to go ahead and head out. Please leave a like on your way out. Please subscribe so we can see you next time right here on Pro Wrestling Planet.